All right, folks, this is an addendum to what is going on with Charlie Kirk and the shooting at Utah Valley University. He was at a Turning Points USA event. He was shot, supposedly, I've heard in the neck. I've also heard in the chest. But watching the video, which of course I can't show here, it was really bad. And so, don't know his condition. Supposedly they have the person in custody, but all of this right now is conjecture. We don't know exactly what's going on. We don't know if he's alive. We don't know if he's dead. We'll be following this, but I just wanted to put the addendum of all this, and this is what I know right of now is about 3:20 Eastern Standard Time. Here's your crisis report alert.
The FBI director, Kash Patel, has weighed in on this. He just tweeted the following: "We're closely monitoring reports of the tragic shooting involving Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. Our thoughts are with Charlie, his loved ones, and everyone affected. Agents will be on the scene quickly, and the FBI stands in full support of the ongoing response and the investigation." Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure, polarizing, lightning rod, whatever term you want to use. Why?
Well, he's one of MAGA's most prominent voices online. He hosts a near daily podcast. He opines on almost everything. He's been very closely aligned with the president since his initial run for office in 2015, 2016. And his ties to Trump really elevated his own brand. He was really quite young as an activist when the president launched his initial campaign. And he has kind of ridden along with MAGA since 2016 and built up a massive, massive brand of his own. His group has brought in tons and tons of money.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. This is your alert for September 10th, 2025. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you're thinking about putting your IRA into gold and silver, this is one of the best companies to do it. Also, we are working with a company called OUPES. They have the Mega One. We've done a review. Well, they just sent me the Exodus 1200. And they're going to be doing a promotional from the 14th of September to the 25th. Regularly $500 and some odd dollars, like $579. It's going to be on sale for $329. It's a 40% discount. So if you are into having a solar generator, this is the last one was fantastic. I'm sure this one's going to be great too. Check it out. All right, here we go. This is your, and those links are in the description in our partnership area. This is your crisis report alert for September 10th, 2025. Trump administration has begun issuing notices to illegal immigrants, informing them they owe hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines for being here illegally. Newly released emails reveal that Dr. Fauci has instructed colleagues to do nefarious things by deleting emails after and telling them to spin numbers. Ursula von der Leyen says, quote, "We're on the brink, if not even at the start of another global health crisis," announcing a new global health resilience initiative to combat the disinformation. Polish Prime Minister Tusk says Poland has asked NATO to invoke Article 4 after the drone incursion last night by Russia. They want to convene the National Security Council. PM Tusk said Article 4 is just the beginning of a deeper cooperation, the security of our skies and of our border, which is the border of NATO. Russia's drone incursion into Poland marked the first time in its history that NATO planes have engaged potential threats in Allied airspace, and according to Colonel Martin L. O'Donnell, Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe spokesman. German Defense Minister Pistorius says that Russia deliberately directed those drones and loaded with ammunition toward Poland in incursions that were not navigational errors. Russian Defense Ministry says it targeted Ukraine's Lvov region, not Poland, and invites Polish military to hold consultations. Trump demands the death penalty for the person that slayed Irina Zarutska in Charlotte. Trump administration collects Social Security digits, names, and birth dates of over 33 million voters, nearly 1/6 of registered voters, to confirm citizenship or death status. The murder of Irina Zarutska now claims the government implanted materials in his body that made him commit the heinous crime. Left-wing extremists are claiming that responsibility for the attack on the electricity infrastructure in Berlin in a letter of confession. Tens of thousands of them are still without electricity. Trump on the Russia-Poland thing said, here we go. There was a home in Poland that was damaged after the Russian drone incursion, and 8 Russian drones were aimed directly towards Poland. That is according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Israel's UN ambassador says his country does not always act in the interests of its allies in the United States after Israeli strikes on Qatar. Elon Musk says he will contribute $1 million to the fund for Orynia Zarutska, or murals across the U.S. Poland invokes NATO Article 4, warns of a closer to armed conflict than any time since World War II. Hong Kong lawmakers reject same-sex partnership bills. China's defense minister warned that the United States containing, deterring, and interfering with China will be futile in talks with the U.S. counterpart on Wednesday, according to CCTV. Trump calls for the death penalty in the animal who killed Ukrainian North Carolina train lady. Cuba suffers a nationwide blackout. Trump on Truth Social says, what's with Russia violating Poland's airspace with drones? Here we go. Poland says Russian drone intrusion was not an accident. Elon Musk has lost his title as world's richest person to Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison. And now there's the operational command statement from the Polish Armed Forces. Attention during today's attack by Russian Federation targeting objects located in the Ukrainian territory. Our airspace was repeatedly violated by drone-type objects. Operation is underway, aimed at identifying and neutralizing the objects on the orders of the operational command of the Polish Armed Forces weaponry, and has been deployed. Services are actively working to locate the downed objects. Emphasize that military operation is ongoing. Urge people to stay at home. Most affected areas are Podolsky, Mazowiecki, and Lubelsky voivodeships. U.S. Coast Guard captured, burned, and sunk a drug boat over the weekend as part of Operation Pacific Viper. U.S. Coast Guard cutter Stone conducted 3 interdictions in a single night, seizing nearly 13,000 pounds of cocaine, apprehending 7 suspected drug smugglers. MV Mississippi suffered a container collapse in the port of Long Beach. Former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett suggests further attacks on Qatar, leaving the door open for Israeli aggression against any country, regardless of what the U.S. president says. March 2025, Bennett visited the U.S., attended Harvard Business School, and threatened American students with pagers. Police have urged Harold Rashad Dabney capital murder after 59-year-old mother, Dr. Julie Gard Schnuel, was found hacked to death in a park in Auburn, Alabama, where she was walking her dog. Killer stole her truck but left her puppy, who was found guarding her lifeless body by authorities. He has been charged. Rome City Council is seeking Italian families to host migrants for free of charge. Tender, valued at 400,000 euros and open until September 22nd, seeks an operator to manage the program on behalf of the municipality. Key detail in the tender notes that families who host migrants will not receive financial compensation. City's Department of Social Policies clarified that social inclusion expenditures refer exclusively to interventions and measures aimed at service beneficiaries. U.S. has overtaken Russia in the amount of car traffic deaths. What would it contribute this change? Well, could it be all the wonderful new people here? Drone intrusion into Poland. Russia has accepted an escalation. That is according to German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul. 2 important political events coincided in France in September, the start of mass protests and the appointment of Sébastien Lecornu as the new prime minister of the country. And key statements made by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Unity is key. Russia must return all Ukrainian children. EU must ramp up pressure. 170 billion euros in aid given to Ukraine is not enough. EU will create a drone alliance. EU will create the European Defense Union. EU will create an Eastern Flank Watch. And then it goes on from there, which is basically a lot of war and money spent. Syrian migrant was assaulted in a sexual way. A Syrian migrant assaulted in a sexual way a 12-year-old girl in Germany in a public pool. And your top 10 normie news are global markets rally on Fed rate cut. UK ex-Prime Minister Boris Johnson faces ethics inquiry. Crude oil prices rise amid Middle East tensions. U.S. dollar softens following producer price drop. French block everything protests are happening again. Security alert, hidden radios found in solar-powered infrastructure. And we have a little bit more than that. We also have, sorry, it's loading. Trump media files for 5 Truth Social ETFs. Public doubt on jab policy motives. British defense minister supports Poland amid drone crisis. And hell of a boss makes its way to Prime Video. Friends, that is your news. Crisis report alert. We're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. We hope you have a great day.